Have you ever felt like no matter what you accomplish, it's just never enough? You land the job, hit the goal, get the recognition, and yet deep down, you still feel like you don't measure up. That voice in your head keeps whispering to you, you're not smart enough, you're not successful enough, you're not as good as them. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the 3 reasons why you never feel good enough, and more importantly, how to finally change that. Let's get into the video. So why is this happening? Why do so many high achievers struggle with feeling like they're enough? Well, this feeling doesn't exactly just come out of nowhere. You most likely learn how to be extremely hard on yourself throughout your entire life, and now you're just perpetuating the same patterns. But it's usually rooted in one of 3 things. Number 1, your definition of success keeps moving. Let's use this scenario. At first, you set a goal, and once you achieve it, you don't even take any time to celebrate or reflect on your accomplishment. Instead, you just move the goalpost further. You might tell yourself, yeah, but I haven't done that yet. I might not be to the ultimate goal. No matter what you accomplish, your brain is already on to the next thing. You're only concerned with moving forward, and every standard that you do meet, you create a new standard that you need to strive for. This creates a feeling where you're always behind and you're never appreciating the progress that you've made or how far that you've come. I see this a lot amongst high achievers, and yes, it is a great thing to keep you ambitious and keep you moving towards the next goal, but it comes at the cost of your self-worth. No matter what you accomplish, your brain is already on to the next thing. Number 2, you're measuring yourself against the wrong standards. Think about it. Where did you first learn what success or good enough even means? For most of us, it came from school, parents, social media, or society at large. You were taught that being good enough equaled straight A's, a 6-figure job, a perfect body, or a flawless relationship. But those aren't even your standards. They're just ones you've absorbed over time. When you don't think about what your standards are based on your values and your picture of success, you take on the values and standards of the outside world, and they might not be aligned with what you actually want for your life. You might be measuring yourself up against something you don't even want. Number 3, you're chasing external validation over internal fulfillment. If your worth is based on other people's approval, what happens when the compliments stop? What happens if you go a period of time without having a big accomplishment, something you can brag to people about? What happens when no one's watching? How do you feel about yourself then? You might be absolutely crushing it in your career, but if you haven't built internal confidence, you'll always feel like you need to prove yourself. Honestly, I struggled with this for a large period of my life, even when I was absolutely killing it in multiple areas, but I just felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like no matter what I did, someone was doing better and I needed to catch up. I was always behind. Even if it wasn't the case, even if I talked to friends, mentors, people that could accurately judge my progress, and they would tell me, you're killing it. But I didn't feel that way. And for years, my confidence took a hit because of it. But here's the thing, the cycle can be broken. And it starts with these 3 steps. Here are 3 real practical shifts that will make a difference in your life. Number 1, redefine what enough means to you. The first thing you need to do, stop chasing someone else's definition of success. Sit down and ask yourself, what actually matters to me? What does success look like for my life? When you have your own picture of success and it's based on your internal values, your actions towards that picture of success feel congruent. There's no internal conflict. There's no trying to be something that you're not. There's no fear of what other people are gonna say because you're working towards your future. You're walking along the path that you decided. Because if you're always following what the world tells you should matter, you'll always feel like you're falling short. There's always going to be someone making more money than you. There's always going to be someone that has a better body than you. There's always someone that's going to have more professional success, that has more notoriety in an area, that's better at a skill than you. But if you're always focusing on the things that you lack and the things where you fall short, you're robbing yourself of the satisfaction for the progress you're making towards the things you care about. Number 2, celebrate small wins before you move the goalposts. Look, I get it. You're ambitious. You don't want to get complacent. You don't want to get comfortable, so you stop pushing forward. I understand that. But constantly moving the goalposts without acknowledging your wins heads you straight for burnout. Never appreciating the progress that you make will trick yourself into believing that you're not making any progress at all. What's the point of working so hard to build a better life for yourself if you can't enjoy it? If your internal world is filled with anxiety, overthinking, self-doubt, all because you're measuring yourself against a litmus tests of success that you don't even believe. To fight this, you need to build a habit of pausing to celebrate your wins, to acknowledging the progress that you do make. Every time you hit a new milestone, ask yourself, if my best friend achieved this, wouldn't I be happy for them? Wouldn't I be proud of them? You need to show yourself the same level of recognition that you would show a good friend. You need to become your own biggest cheerleader. I'm not saying you got to become delusional and pat yourself on the back for every little thing that you do, but you can't have zero appreciation for the progress that you do make. Because if you never let yourself feel successful, you'll never feel like you are successful. Number 3, shift from external validation to internal confidence. A lot of people think that confidence comes from getting more praise and more success. But real confidence, that's built internally. The thing about confidence is that if you're basing it on how other people view you and praise, accomplishments, recognition, if you stop getting those things, then they can take it away from you. They can take away how you feel about yourself. Building confidence internally means learning how to validate yourself without needing outside approval. Here's a quick challenge. This week, every time you accomplish something, even something small, instead of waiting for someone else to notice, acknowledge it yourself first. When you start validating yourself, you need much less from everybody else. So here's what I want you to remember from today's video. You don't need to prove yourself to be worthy. You don't need to reach the next level to feel good enough. And you don't need to compare yourself to someone else's version of success. Feeling good enough starts from within. And when you master that, you free yourself from the constant chase. If this video resonated with you and you want our help to relieve your stress, anxiety, overthinking, and burnout, click the link in the description and schedule a call with us to see if we're a good fit.